Hey there, and welcome to our holiday edition of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility. I'm your host, Pete Pardo. We are here live in Rock Fantasy in Middletown, New York, and we're going to all run through some of our top picks of the year. I'm going to do my number 11 through 20. You'll get to see my top 10, as always, on our final edition of the year. So let me introduce the crew here. We've got the legendary Ryan. What name do you want me to give you? You got the Facebook alias.
Scow.
Okay, all right. Ryan Skow. Okay, not Ryan.
He's the underground expert.
We got Nick Franco
you,
from SOT and Cryptic Rock and like a million other sites. We've got Butch Jones from Wapages Falls, also from Sea of Tranquility, and we've got the one and the only Steve Keeler, owner and proprietor of Rock Fantasy New York. So, yes. So we're going to start with Mr. Scow in the back here. He's going to talk about some of his top releases of the year, and don't feel bad if you haven't heard of half of them or all of them. That's kind of the way he rolls.
I haven't either.
Yeah,
an extensive list.
Extensive list.
So my album of the year, as everybody knows, probably knows, Destroyer 666 Wildfire.
Yes.
You told me that when it first came out. I guess nothing beat it.
Saw them twice this year in Brooklyn with this lad and this lad.
Yes.
Saw them again in Chicago. Best live band I've ever seen. Them and Iron Maiden. It's like 50-50.
Old Maidens.
Old Maiden. Well, no, we won't go into that. Old Maiden is better than New Maiden.
Good.
Live, though, still the best.
I thought Metallica was going to beat it out.
My other top 10. These are all bands, I know at least one person in the band, so I just didn't want to pick random stuff here. So Actus, the Eternalist from Athens, Greece. Excellent album. A little bit 70s prog rock, 80s classic metal, and like classic Greek black metal. Bobry Maximius from Canada, the Enslaving Conquest.
Who?
From Vancouver. You can see my list already.
Common spell.
Excumius Habeas.
Forsmark from Montreal.
Fox for this.
Chapal Ardent, great doom metal. Demon College from Toronto. The album's Fire of Iniquity just came out. Great, like early Merciful Fate, early speed metal, Exciter, and all that kind of thing. Little Manila Road, Sabat from Japan, not England. You know the English one speak too. Gibura from Montreal, Hallelujah. Hulkeraxate from New Jersey, The Last Battle, great Viking death metal. High Spirits from Chicago, San Francisco, a couple other places. Motivator, Sauron from Detroit, Michigan, Conquest to Attrition, and Bergerac from Dublin, Ireland. I always fuck this name up. The Cursed Travails of the Demeter.
The Cursed Travails.
The Cursed Travails.
You swore on
Excellent
TV.
album. I did say naughty words.
That's all right. We'll forgive you.
That's
So,
my top 10.
Cool. Thanks for those very obscure but great picks.
And if you want any of
Go
that
check
stuff
out-
spelt out, you can always go at the bottom of the YouTube channel or comment.
Contact
and
Ryan directly. He'll spell
Ryan
it.
and Pete
A little
will
list.
help you
You can
out.
look at that.
There you go.
I don't think they'll
Guys,
jot down that.
Screen capture.
Zoom in, zoom out.
Mr. Franco, you're up.
All right. Steve's very nice blonde head here.
Steering
All right.
wheel.
I'll move
How
over
are you?
slightly.
I have a book, but don't worry, it's not going to be that long.
Show them the book. It's a nice
It's
look.
That is the
It is
book.
a very nerdy. I don't mess around.
That is a,
Yeah.
looks like something from a European
I'm-
folk metal video.
I'm something from a European.
Yeah, that is true.
If anybody knows me, I hope my head's not too bright, everyone. I decided to go without the hat.
No makeup artist today, sorry.
No,
No.
yeah, they retired.
We have a very low budget for this show.
We're all beautiful, as you can see. So, all right, coming in at number 10, I have a band from Finland called Behexen. And as far as like really vicious black metal, this band gets it right. And this album, I think it's their best album. It's got the things that black metal needs: the cavernous voice from hell, the relentless blast, but it mixes it up in the right places with parts that are like more headbanging parts and then blast. And really just the dynamics of the album are untouchable. After that, and I brought a few props, because why not?
Props are good.
I'm going to...
You can buy some of these props here at Rock
You
Fantasy.
can.
Middletown, New York.
Yes, Middletown. Anyway, right here I got from Norway, classic Borknagar.
Yeah, that's right.
They come from the old school of black metal, pagan black metal. Winter Thrice is the new record, and Winter Thrice features about 4 different vocalists, 4 different vocal styles, maybe more. Garm from Over fame makes an appearance. ICS Vortex, who used to be in Dima Borgir, wonderful clean register. I mean, amazing. He makes a song. Yeah, he could make Three Blind Mice into an epic.
Heavy.
Vinner Sorg features his growling vocals and his clean, and then Lars Nedlund, who is also in a wonderful progressive band called Solar Fall, is in this too. And I mean, the songs are epic. Each song is like its own. You just want to stand on top of a mountain while wind and snow hit you.
Perfect.
Yeah, really unbelievable. It's cold.
It's cold.
It is winter thrice.
Winter thrice. Yeah, very good.
Very
It's
cool.
one of the top 5, I think.
Oh yeah, I mean, they really went above and beyond with this. We just got to get them over here to America to perform.
Yeah,
I heard they are coming.
Yeah? Wow.
I've heard they were. Yeah. So anyway, moving along, remaining in Scandinavia, as pretty much almost my entire list remains in. We're going to go to a project called Skogshop, which features Ivar Bjornsson from Enslaved and a man named Einar Selvik, who used to be in Gorgoroth, but he's moved away from black metal into this traditional realm of folk music. So Skogshop mixes pagan metal with folk music in a very, very pleasing, very epic, really rich listen. Some of the tracks are long and with very metallic. Grudel from Enslaved. We have the same shirt.
We have the same
shirt.
shirt. Look at that.
We not so much didn't get the memo.
We didn't get the memo.
It's like you were at the same time.
We were both at the 25th anniversary of Enslaved
only 100
last
of
week in
these
New York
shirts were
City.
sold, so
And we both happened to
guys,
like the shirt
first
enough and
of
thought it would be cool to wear on Pete's show today.
we are the cool kids. But anyway, the album is really incredible. If you like that type of progressive folk with some metal in there, it's great. And then moving on into Finland again.
Mm-hmm.
Classic.
Yeah, Insomnium, their new album, Winter's Gate. They decided
One long track.
Just like
It
they were
is.
actually inspired by a band called Edge of Sanity, who's
Dan
wonderful.
Swano and company.
Yeah, Dan Swano actually produced this.
Prince. Great.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
They were listening to that when they thought of let's do one.
You gotta show the inside of that.
Yeah,
It's like a book. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
you get
So
an
the two
entire short story.
CDs there.
I have the vinyl and it doesn't have that in it.
Wow, you are missing out.
It looks
Yeah.
like
Look at
it.
that.
It's fine.
I thought it was the
I thought it was
vinyl.
vinyl.
I thought it was vinyl too.
That's very cool.
Very nice gatefold.
Yeah, and the singer Nilo Savanen actually narrates the story on a separate disc in there, so you can curl up and listen to it. It's a great
Mhm.
story.
I feel like you practiced these guys' names before you came.
And he knows them all.
I
have- well,
I think I have. I'm like a Savan.
Much more fluent with that than I am.
But the music is melodic death metal with just really. I don't understand how these guys squeeze so much emotion into their music. It really.
It's like a melodic death metal. There's plenty of prog in there as well as a little bit of gothic flavors
Yes.
too. It's
They
quite
really
good, yeah.
really hit all the
Quite good.
spots, and they're just getting better and better. They're young still. They're not that old. They're
I
good.
mean, that
kids.
packaging alone is
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah,
seen something
yep.
like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, they're expanding as we move into this digital age. They're making the physical copy that much more appealing.
Oh man,
Century Media Records too.
Nuclear Blast
Century Media.
has been doing stuff like that with the Sabaton, and
really?
I think Nightwish, they call it I can't think of the name. It's something book,
Yeah, like a
media book.
Media book.
Yeah.
I get them while I can. They're not cheap, but they're
Mhm.
really worth it. Moving along, back to Sweden, the band Stilla, which is on Bindrune Recordings, which is a really wonderful, cutting edge of this pagan and black metal, like sort of interpretation of black metal, where thematically it's about nature and inward journeys and such, but the music is vicious, like
A lot of 70s prog in there too.
it's just
very enjoyable mix of like black
Yep.
metal.
it really is amazing where some of these independent labels are taking music that we grew up with. So Stilla's album is called Skogflak. And
what was it?
Skogflak.
Butch is going to have to take notes when he gets
It
on.
rolls right off the tongue.
Right off the tongue.
That's
No
it.
loss.
Yeah,
Scuba
No,
Fly.
yeah, I probably looked it up. But anyway, this band is from Sweden, and if you like the middle period of Satyricon, with some of that black and roll from like Cold and Bride, this album, you could tell these guys probably definitely paid attention in classical music training. The music is vicious. It's sung in Swedish, but it's very articulated, and it sounds vicious. But the music is mid-paced in a lot of places. There's clean choir vocals. There's acoustic parts. It blasts. Really just came out of nowhere.
The whole thing is sung in Swedish?
Yeah. Wow. And you enjoy it. I mean, it just really, really gets you. And then the next one I have the physical copy of here is Drognem. Drognem, I guess is the best way to put it. The album is called Vulturine. It's their debut album, but the music was written over the past 4 or 5 years. It's Sweden. I wrote it down. They are also from Sweden. They're a young band. This album, It's like six or seven tracks, 6 tracks. Again, I guess you could say pagan black metal, but emotion, feeling, so much. It fills you up, this album. It's like really, really just an incredible listen. I can't say enough good things about these guys. I hope they continue.
I concur on this one.
Yeah,
I've been listening to this one a lot.
you just want to sit there like this in your car and
punch in the roof.
Yeah, don't drive with this album.
Don't drive with this album.
Yeah, you are. If you do, pull over.
There it is, kids. Don't drive with this album.
There you go. Moving along to Montreal, French Canada, we have Forteresse. I hope I'm saying it right. Themes pour la Rebellion. Themes of Rebellion. Forteresse is a band that Ryan here alerted me to. I think he's been into them a lot longer than I have. But I took a listen earlier in the year, and I was blown through the back of the speakers. Just when you thought that you couldn't do anything more with the old template of like tremolo-picked classic Norwegian black metal style, these guys come along and just give it a swift kick in the ass. It gave me the same feeling that I got when I heard Anthems to the Welkin at Dusk when I was 22.
Wow.
Really, really incredible. Their vocals sound like they're coming out of an icy hell cavern right at you. I mean, incredible.
The imagery with your picks is just outstanding.
Thank you, because I don't have musician terms, so I just.
And he doesn't have all this written down.
No, he does not.
No, I swear,
No,
just
he does not.
True.
And then
Put me to shame.
moving over to England, to the UK, we have the debut album by a band called Wode, W-O-D-E. Again, came out of nowhere. If you are familiar with this strain of UK black metal that's going on right now with bands like Woden's Throne and Richard Phillip, yeah, Wode, again, vicious arrangements. They get it. They have the songwriting dynamics. I've been listening to this music for 20-something years, and these kids come along and make something that smashes me in the face. Beautiful, beautiful vocal style, really, really harsh, but and the music knows when to blast, knows when to blast, and knows when to rock out.
The wonders of being in a big room filled with pinball machines.
Yeah, exactly. We are a bunch of pinball
It's
machines.
open business.
And then finally, my penultimate album is the one that was Ryan's favorite, Destroyer 666, Wildfire. Yeah, there it is. Thank you. I will go so far as to say that this is the reign and blood of our generation. And it won't have that impact. You stop sucking your teeth at me. It won't. It won't have that impact because of the saturation, the pure saturation that's going on out there. But if this album came out in 1986, you would all be. Every song is a 3 or 4 minute blast of, and it
riffs
is
to die
it's,
for.
yeah, it's like punky, thrashy black metal, death metal. Just listen to it. If you like heavy music, if you grew up on Slayer, or if you think you like Slayer, or if you're 14 and you just bought Slayer's new album, cast that aside.
Who doesn't like Slayer?
And listen to Destroyer 666. They are at the top of their game.
It's like all the best elements of modern day extreme metal mixed with that early, like you said, thrash and that very early extreme metal. So it's Slayer,
And you can sing along to it.
You can sing along to it.
Destruction, all that creative.
And it sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm 40 years old. It's hard to, it's hard to make that impact on me at this age. But I feel like I'm 14.
But the question I have for you, though,
Tell me.
can you drive with this one?
Very fast.
I can't.
You can drive it.
Yeah, which I professionally have to say is not
Yeah,
good.
it could be a speeding ticket.
This album you can drive to.
Yeah, you will
Probably.
cut off the old lady and curse at her.
Probably most of these piles need to be a speeding ticket. Most of these lists.
And my album of the year is by a band that's based out of. They came from Arizona. They're in Philly. They're called Vector, Vektor, Vector. Terminal Redo is the album, and it just barely nudged this one, Destroyer, because I literally cannot think of a band that has had an impact on me. Stop sucking your teeth. Progressive thrash, 8-9 minute songs. Put that book down. 8-9 minute songs of just you're over here, now you're over here, now you're over here, but it works. Really incredible progressive thrash. These guys are like Voivod and Old Creator. And
I need to hear that one.
They're really great. And my last thing that Pete said I could say, not attached to my list, is higher up in my list, I did have Brotherhood of the Snake, the Testament album. I just want to come out, it's one man's opinion, but a lot of people are clamoring about Metallica, and pretty much the best thrash record of American thrash was made by Testament. Brotherhood of the Snake has the riffs, they have everything together. Gene Hoglan on drums.
Can't mess with him.
He's going to talk about the album more. It's better than Metallica.
I'll tell you where it is on my list, at least.
Know it, love it.
I'm not as detailed as you are.
All right.
If you don't hear enough about it today, you'll hear from me next week.
I got more Italians than
Oh, wait a minute. So that must not be in your top 20 to 11. Then.
It's in my top
Book
10.
that. Book with
Well, I
your
shouldn't have said that. See, you drew it out.
Steve ruined it already.
Oh, my God.
See?
But
He already said next week.
It's on to me.
That's a secret.
So, kids,
I bought it first. Okay.
for me, I'm not getting stuck down.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not going to do a top 10. I'm going to really talk about my top 3. But for me, I'm a Swedish guy, so it's always about Meshuggah. That's my number 1 right there. So I'm going to do it the other way. So I'm going to say number 1 is the new Meshuggah record. Violent Sleep of Reason. I'm very fortunate to be friends with these guys. So I was able to hear it early. I heard it some of it in July. And I let everybody know that this was going to be the metal album of the year, and it is definitely for me. It did not disappoint at all. Anybody that is an old school Meshuggah fan, if you like Chaos Fear and Nothing, and if you like that period, it's like the best combination of both of those records. And 20 years later, so
Probably their heaviest album.
yeah, I think so.
It's a strong album.
Yeah.
It's a strong record for sure. And they just did a little short run here in the States, and I know that they'll be back next year. So go check Meshuggah out when they come back. So
I was there.
my number 2, going in the complete opposite direction of Meshuggah, is the new Rival Sons record, Hollow Bones. I love the 70s. I love the whole shtick that they do, which is really not shtick because they really are into it. The clothing, the sound, using old amps, using old guitars. That record is just a perfect, straight ahead 70s hard rock record.
And that singer is the second coming of Paul Rogers.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Paul Rogers, Steve Marriott.
Yep.
If you like old school, straight up hard rock, that's the record, the new Rival Sons record.
Yeah.
And then sticking with that, the guy who in 2016, I believe, is 64 years old, has a phenomenal book that he wrote a few years ago. Was in Deep Purple, and actually my favorite version of Deep Purple with David Coverdale. Glenn Hughes' new record, Resonate, is phenomenal.
Real deal.
He sings his ass off. A guy that is 64 years old, that sings everything he sang in 1972, 1973, 1974, exactly the same, doesn't tune down at all. Everything's at standard pitch. He hits everything, and he knows it. And he's one of those guys that when you see him live, he kind of flaunts that he can do it because he can. He makes kids that are 20 years old that think that they can sing look like little infants.
Yep.
Glenn Hughes is beyond the real deal.
And the guy can play bass, too.
And the guy can play bass as well, absolutely. So those 3 records to me are my highlights of the year. And all of them came out, really, I guess, second half on.
Yeah, it was a very strong second
Yeah,
year.
so those are my 3. Very different, but nonetheless awesome.
You'll see the rest of Butch's top picks on Sea of Tranquility sometime over the next couple of days. We're going to put the entire
He's already posted them on Facebook.
I'll post them on Facebook too.
They were up.
Thanks,
So
Butch.
is
All
it
right,
my
Mr.
turn
Keeler,
now?
it's up to you now.
All right, Steve.
I'm going to go backwards. I'm not starting with
That's the
number
way I'm
1.
going to do it, so go for it. Yeah.
But we're not going to know about his till next week.
You're just going to see my
You're going to
second
open
half.
your Christmas presents before you see.
That's right.
This could all shuffle, and could probably most of it could change in a couple days. But I put this stuff together. It's hard for me to put this all on paper. Who's better than who? But this is like the top 15 things I've listened to this year. There's another one that came out recently. Testament. Brotherhood of the Snake. Anybody who wants to lay in, I'm just going to pretty much tell you what I like. I'm not going to go into details. This is a strong album. I agree. You got a lot of people running around going, oh my God, Metallica, kind of heavy again. Why do you this is thrash.
Yep.
This is much better than Metallica. The musicianship.
Yep.
Yeah. Who's the drummer?
Gene
Oh, yeah, okay. We can just go down
Steve
the line.
DiGiorgio, Chuck Billy.
Much more aggressive.
Chuck Billy's voice.
Yeah.
I mean,
How
if you're
brutal
looking
is
at
that?
Makes James sound like he's going through puberty again.
We've been selling a ton of this record too. It came out and it's doing well. So we're moving on to another thrash act.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Another thrash act. Quite just a tad heavier.
The Germans.
Someone else we just mentioned with their new band. They're from Germany. And I mean, it's destruction. You're probably not going to get much different than you had in the last few albums, but I enjoy the record a lot. And Smear's a great guy. Another one, can hang out with these guys and have a drink if I see them when they come around the city, which is probably every year or two. And hopefully we get to see them this year. But strong record from Destruction. And actually, I put it slightly ahead of Testament. And I had Megadeth up here somewhere too, but I think they fell out of my top 15. The new Opeth.
Yeah, that's in mine.
Another great listen. It's a double album, I believe. Or it's not a double album. When I get vinyl, everything's a double album. But another strong listen from Sweden. And one of Ryan Skow's favorite bands. I don't know how they're not in this top 10. He's covered as the new Sabaton. He's covering his face. Sabaton are carrying the power metal banner. And yes, they are.
They're not fit to wax Joey DeMeo's loincloth.
Well, Manowar's passing the baton eventually because they're doing their final tour. But Sabaton, I like. Scow doesn't like him. That means a lot of you people probably will like Sabaton.
That's probably true.
They're going to be coming around in April. They're headlining and also headlining the New England Metal Fest, which actually turned into a metal fest again this year.
Wow, I'm surprised that this is your pick right here.
Another album that Scow will detest, but I like a lot, is the new Deftones.
Wow.
I don't know if the Deftones.
No,
I know there are no one else's listed. Maybe Butch's. I don't know.
I haven't heard the new record.
Don't feel bad for
I
what
haven't heard it.
I'm sorry I keep blocking Nick's face.
I'm sure people are sorry. I save all my energy for hating Metallica. So everything else is fine. There's no
This one, I believe, is in Butch's top 10.
It absolutely is. Absolutely is.
Ashan. And this has got to be somewhere in Nick's.
It is. It's in mine, yes.
Yeah. Another strong album from him. Very melodic.
Let's see Nick's face. Come on.
Hide Scow. I know somebody doesn't mind us hiding Scow.
It's very good.
And
very creative song choice.
off to some Viking metal. Amon Amarth. Jones Viking.
I really want to like, because the whole Swedish thing, I don't
I
get it.
can't say it like you did.
Amon Amarth.
Jones Viking.
Oh, John. Let me see. Jams Viking.
I like how Steve said it.
Jones Viking.
Jones Viking.
Yum.
They're one of those bands that all their albums are good, but to me, they've been doing the same album for the last, 8 years.
And they're having a lot of success.
I know
Yeah,
they are.
I
Just
know.
for me,
Yeah.
it's boring the crap out of
It is the same album.
Yeah.
It's
good,
I
but
think this is a little bit better than last one.
I always wind up giving them their albums a good review, and then I don't.
And then you never
they
listen
don't-
to it
They don't
again,
stay with me.
Yeah, I listen to it a ton. I'm different than you. Everybody's got their own thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
From Finland, Omnium Gathering.
That's a good one.
That's what they are. I gotta get more.
That's just
I finally stumped you with one you
You
never
got
heard
me.
of.
Drop back.
And we just caught these guys on tour. They were on the road with Sonata Arctica. Saw the tour twice. Great guys. Melodic. Sort of in the Dark Tranquility mode.
Yeah. Okay. A little doomy at times.
This could be higher up on my list.
Most certainly could.
It's higher up on Butch's. It's not on Ryan Skow's, but I bet you.
Yeah.
I don't think he's
Every
heard of it.
album he gives, he has to preface it with Ryan Skow.
Well, it's because I see it.
Let's talk about you, Steve. Don't worry about it.
Right.
That's the ultimate Christmas gift, right? The gift of sugar.
Yeah, come to Rock Fantasy. We have a few in stock buying for Christmas for mom, dad, kids. And then we have another Swedish band. I'm very European.
Yes,
if you
yes. Me and you are definitely with this one.
Catatonia.
Yes.
My favorite album from them in a couple.
The Fall of Hearts.
It's brilliant.
Yeah,
Another
their last
band
couple I didn't like as much. but this
coming
one-
over to the States soon.
Yep.
And also playing the New England Metal Fest. Actually warming up for Sabaton, if you can believe it.
I can believe it.
I was waiting for that.
And the Mighty Hammerfall are going to be there that day, too. It's going to be a party.
Hearts on Fire.
And another,
there you
this one came out later this
Sweden
year.
again.
Another Swedish band.
Oh,
Art
really?
Tranquility.
Oh.
So
You know
No,
them.
I do know.
It was in my honorable mentions for the year.
I love this record, and not much more I can say.
also their strongest in a couple of years, I think.
That's
I
what
know
were
you
saying.
disagree, but
I-
the last couple for me was,
I like all the last
If
two.
I may just say one thing.
No, you can say whatever you like.
There was a little bit of a war, more among the fans than the bands themselves, because they were all friends. But there was always, coming through the 2000s, it was Dark Tranquility or In Flames. And I really have to say,
Oh,
no
Dark
competition.
Tranquility.
I'm saying
In Flames.
No,
The Flames are down the ground.
Swedish Corn.
Yeah. Just these guys kept the
This is much heavier in Flames. And in Flames, what did they do? I mean, that's
So
put
they're,
out.
they're a metalcore.
they lost the spirit
Yeah,
of
yeah.
metalcore years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a band that I'm surprised wasn't on a couple of my friends' lists. The Inquisition.
I liked it. And they're playing in February.
And this is the bloodshed across the Emprian altar beyond the celestial zenith.
So that puts him right after Rival Sons in Glen Hughes.
That was on your list? I think it was ahead of the Rival Sons.
Let's not get carried away now.
But yes, they will be playing, which will probably be our Rock Fantasy anniversary party, which is Mayhem.
That is a great album, Steve.
And Inquisition.
This time you can say Ryan Skow doesn't like it.
It's a very strong album.
Ryan Skow likes one record I did this year.
That song, Wings of Anu.
Don't tell your friends.
Wings of Anu is great. Wings of Anu.
And another one that's loaded in, we've already spoke about today. Borknagar, Winter Thrice. And it's kind of wintry out now, so we could probably listen to it when we go out to the bar after this. And number 2,
This album again.
coming in, ABBA.
I'm scared already.
He's playing tonight in New York City, but I'm sure this isn't going to air before you go. But anyhow, Abbott is back from Immortal. This is a solo album, something I've listened to more out almost on vinyl this year. Even Steve Levin likes this. So.
Wow. Better songs than the final couple.
Steve Levin didn't show up. We saved him in the store. But
his songwriting.
And this one,
this album again.
we've talked about already. The Rain and Blood of Our Generation. That might be a good point.
I like
this
the
is a
cover.
strong.
The 80s.
It totally is.
I turned this album on to people that don't know who they are.
Right.
Like coming in, like, what do you not heavy? They put this on, they buy it. Doesn't matter if they like Motorhead, if they like Slayer, if they like.
They always play Motorhead cover live, Little Iron Fist.
Oh yeah.
You know me.
You know, nobody's talking about the production.
He has a wonderful Motorhead tribute band too. So this is we got a couple Motorhead links to the top.
I think it's one of their best albums too. That's why I love that band.
And that's it for me. So I guess it's time to pass the baton to you.
All right. So as you guys know, I put together the top 20. Actually, I'm going to have top 50 for the website, but top 20 for the show here. I'm going to run through number 11 through 20 today. We're going to start with number 20, and you'll get to hear my top 10 next week. So we're going to start right now with a band from Germany. Actually, they got members from all over the place. Technical death metal, Obscura, Acroasis. They had a bunch of member changes this year, so it's practically a new band. But, you know, mind-melting, just progressive death metal at its best. If you can think of like latter period Death, or as well as Cynic, they do some of those kind of weird.
I didn't hear that this year.
No, it's different. I wouldn't say this is my favorite release for them. I think their last one was better, but I still dig it quite a bit. Coming in at number 19, U.S. hard rockers, Scorpion Child, Acid Roulette.
I keep trying.
I love this album.
It's starting to grow on me a little bit better, but it's still. There's so many people that love that band.
Yeah, I dig it.
Somebody got mad on Facebook. I wasn't in your top.
Yeah,
somebody got mad on Facebook. I never know.
No,
That's not a reason.
Like, where's Scorpion Child of Metallica?
All right, number 18. We've been talking about this a lot today. Borknagar, Winter Thrice. You know, it's another classic. Yeah, it's good. I think you'll like it because it's got a lot of amazing clean vocals. It's got the black metal vocals, a lot of keyboards and good guitar work. It's just kick-ass. Number 17, Hollow Bones from Rival Sons. We've also discussed this. You know, every album this band has ever put out is really, really good. I dig them a lot. We're going to see a little bit of duplication here, but Atoma from Dark Tranquility. Like I said before, this is probably my favorite release from them in a couple. They've always put out good albums, but their last couple albums I liked and didn't love. This I love. This reminds me of like their early 2000s stuff. It's just, it's got a good mix of everything they do. All right, from there, we're going to go to number 15. I thought this was going to, you know, this probably, throughout the year I had this up a little higher, but it's been such a strong year for music. But I don't want to kind of downplay the significance of how great this album is. But it's Inquisition. Yeah, you already said the title.
Two guys in the band.
Two guys in the band. You say it too. Well, you say it too.
Bloodshed, blah, 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 blah.
Say it.
It's a real tongue twister.
Say it.
Yeah, every one of their albums has this like
bloodshed across the Empyrean altar beyond the celestial zenith. Beyond.
Yes.
You're supposed to say it.
And I'm not wearing my glasses, so for me to read something like that, you know, these black metal albums, everything is.
If you do get blood on that celestial altar, make sure you put.
Great album, tremendous riffs, just kick-ass. I mean, this is probably the thrashiest black metal band out there. The vocals are unlike anything you've ever heard.
There's only two people in the band.
Drummer,
live band.
Really good live band. Really good live band.
Both of these gentlemen will be in the pit.
Oh,
on February
there probably
19th.
15 times.
Wow.
I don't know if Butch will be there.
I won't be there.
Butch won't be there. Not even in Poughkeepsie.
No.
Patrick Sharp's going to be there. He's signing autographs.
Number 14, one of my favorite of kind of the new breed of progressive death metal bands, is Fallujah, Dreamless, Nuclear Blast Records.
You got to pull it back a little bit.
Here we go. Really, really good stuff. It's melodic, it's atmospheric, it's brutal in spots, it's progressive. It's kind of everything I like about that kind of like technical progressive death metal thing. Really, really good. Number 13, we're going to totally switch gears here. We're going to go to a stoner rock, 70s flavored hard rock. The latest from Sweden's Spiritual Beggars, Michael Lamotte from Arch Enemy and Crew. It's called Sunrise to Sundown. Love it. This is probably my favorite release from this band, and I've been following for a long time. If you love Coverdale Hughes era Deep Purple, Mark III era of the band, you'll totally love this. Heavy, great guitar work, killer Hammond organ, Apollo from Firewall.
Okay, that's what I was wondering if you were still with them.
Yeah, this is great stuff. And this came out really early in the year. You know, sometimes you get these releases that come out in January, February. You love them when they come out. You listen to them until about the summertime, and then all of a sudden you forget about them, right?
All the stuff comes in and pushes it away.
Yeah, I've been listening to this all year long. So that usually tells, for me, when I look at my top picks of the year, I was like, well, what have I listened to the most this year? You know, I may have rated something higher than this, but this I keep coming back to over and over and over again.
I was that way with the partner car. I thought it was last year's.
Yeah, that was early in the year, too. All right, we're going to go to Season of Mist Records, the sophomore release from Ancients. It's called Voice of the Void, another fantastic progressive death metal band. I mean, these guys, the guitar work is off the charts on here. They do the growling and the clean vocals. Really, really good instrumentation. Complex tunes, but not overly so. This is a band that has everything to be huge over the next couple of years. So
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, there is. I really like it. And I like their previous one, too.
I listened to that the other day.
Yeah, it's good. My number 11, and the last one I'm going to cover for today, is a album by a band that have been around for a long, long time, and most of us who are old enough, you know, kind of grew up with these guys in the early, mid-'80s. And for me, it's one of their best albums in a long time. It's the latest from Kurt Vanderhoof and Company, Metal Church, XI, or 11. And, you know, it's just a return to the stuff that they do best. And great riffs. We've got some fly in here.
There's actually a fly in here in December.
Yeah.
Who sounds fantastic.
Fantastic, right?
Fantastic.
Yeah, so
it's a strong album.
it's thrashy. It's like kind of that heavy, you know, early, mid-'80s power metal. It's just classic, good 80s style metal. And
Who went to see
production's
them at the
fantastic.
Champs?
I did.
I was aware of
Great
business trip, so I did
Great
not
show.
go. Yeah,
I
saw
Chris
him
Caffrey
I
on
saw him
it.
in San Francisco, too, when I was out there.
I saw him at the Prudential Center also. I saw him twice this year.
Yep. So that's my number 11. So tune in this time next week for my top 10 of the year. And some of you may know some of the stuff that's going to appear on there.
We already heard the Testament.
We've talked about a few of them. I tried to keep my mouth shut there.
Secret.
But I'll cover that next week.
Secret.
Yeah.
He said you'll see it next week.
Keep secrets.
I keep no secret.
So we came in at 32 minutes, 2 minutes over. That's fine. No big deal. This was
We
a lot of
didn't
fun.
even do our concert of the year.
Oh, yeah, real quick. Concert of the year. Let me go since I ended. We'll go back around. So I didn't go to a ton of concerts this year,
I've got one.
and I went to mostly some classic rock and hard rock stuff, but my favorite show of the year, and it was probably my favorite show of the last couple of years, was Black Sabbath in Madison Square Garden on February.
That was a strong
25th.
Oh, yeah.
And Rival Sons. For me, that was, you know, like a religious experience for me. So if it's the last time I ever see Sabbath, I'm okay with that.
I would think it will be.
Yeah, so that was my concert of the year. Steve?
I'm going to have to lean on the Sabbath show for, like, my old classic rock. So I'm going to have, like, two probably. I mean, I could change this, but I want to. Sabbath I'm not going to go with the Garden. I'm going to go with the one I saw in the summer at PNC.
Right.
You were there. It just seemed, maybe with the content of alcohol I had on me, but it just seemed like they were on fire that night. They sounded great. Rival Sons opened up. It was a solid show, and Ozzy, and they just seemed like they were a well-oiled machine that night. And I figured that will be my goodbye with them. I don't think you're going to see Sabbath back. Yeah. You might see Ozzy, but I mean, if they do, boy, all these farewell tours.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe bring Bill Ward.
That's the way you should. That's the way you should do it.
And
is have back Bill Ward and have a real.
And I say my most unique concert of the year was at Upstate Music Hall. It was a list of guys. It was Sonata Arctica, Dark Tranquility, Omnium Gathering, Leaves Eyes, Swallow. Did I say Swallow the Sun already?
It's an eclectic mix.
It was 9 and Enforcer were there. Enforcer and Starkiller I missed, but there were like 9 European bands in the middle of nowhere, which I consider that area, on election day night.
Wow.
While the elections were going on and these European guys were pretty much thinking the end of the world was happening when they found out that Trump was winning. They were like, are we going to be able to travel through the States? In fact, our Tranquility lost the next night in Philadelphia. It was canceled due to protests. So I guess they had a little bit of, apprehension on it, and that was true. So, but that was my 2. I mean, I could pick out. I've been to, I think, 41 concerts.
You did well. Yeah, that's less than 50.
Scow is probably at 100.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Butch, how about your...
I'm unprepared. I didn't even know we were even doing this.
No, off the cuff.
Off the cuff, honestly, like you guys were saying, that Rival Sons Sabbath at the Garden was awesome. To see Rival Sons get a standing ovation, that was really
Oh,
really
yeah,
cool.
they went over great.
But honestly, Rival Sons headlined here locally for me at a place called The Chance in Poughkeepsie, New York.
Yeah.
And that headline show was pretty damn awesome.
Yes.
They got to extend their set, of course.
Oh, yeah.
They sounded awesome. That might be my number 1. Also seeing Meshuggah with the Addams Family. Seeing Meshuggah headline a month ago, I think, in November.
Yeah,
November, beginning of November.
Yeah.
At whatever they're calling it now, the PlayStation
Theater in Times Square.
Yeah, whoever owns it this week. That was awesome. That was a great show too. Yeah, I've been to a lot of shows, but it's not like the last couple of years there were some shows that were like that was it. Like seeing King Diamond last year, that was easily my favorite show last year. This year there was a bunch of good shows, but nothing that was head and shoulders. But I really did dig the Rival Sons show, sure.
Mr. Franco?
Well, I will say that probably my favorite was seeing these guys Enslaved. They did 2 sets. Their first set was all very, very old material that they hardly ever play. I'm talking the first
that's for sure.
It was, focused through the lens of how the musicians they are today. Incredible set. Really great. I'm glad I wasn't so drunk that at home. And then Destroyer 666, him and I saw in a very small venue.
That was strong.
I
was there also.
Carcass at the Chance in Poughkeepsie was amazing, and there was one floating around my head. Testament's performance at Maryland Death Fest was second.
I'd have to go with Metal Threat Fest in July back in Chicago, and that was a one-time festival not to be repeated. It had Exciter, it had Razor, Abigail from Japan, Angel Corpse, Destroyer 666, just a who's who of old new metal, put on by one Mr. Paul Dunsky. Excellent festival. Met folks from all over. Folks came out from Montreal, a lot of friends from Chicago. Fantastic fest. Seeing Destroyer at that was probably the single best performance of the year for me. So seeing Maiden earlier on in Madison Square Garden.
Oh, how did I forget that one?
Is Maiden this year?
Maiden was this year. Yeah.
I forgot that.
Really cool.
Maiden, sorry, I'm a loser.
That might overrule that Sabbath one, actually.
Yeah.
I'm probably up to like 70 to 80
We weren't
shows
real
this year.
prepared for this.
I drink a lot. I don't really remember stuff.
No, you got drunk at a show once?
It's just this past Monday, me and this fine gentleman here seeing Ross the Boss in Middletown playing a whole slew of old Man of War songs.
That was
Fucking excellent. That was absolutely top shelf. That was good.
Cool.
We could go on about live shows for another hour.
Yeah, we could have done
We're going to do a second show.
Yeah.
We'll do
You guys
that.
can't see.
So anyway, thanks for joining us on this extended edition of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility. For Ryan Skow, Nick Franco, Butch Jones, Steve Keeler, I am Pete Pardo. Happy holidays, everybody. We'll see you again in a week for my top picks of the year. But make sure if you haven't checked out any of this great new stuff that you do so. Support your favorite band, support the live scene, and have a
local record stores too.
Yes.
It's time to buy some Christmas stuff. Come on in.
So everybody take care. From all this to Sea of Tranquility, have a good
Rock on.
Smoke, crack, and worship Satan.
Take care.
Always.